A New York City detective at the center of controversy, caught in a raunchy pole dancing video that has the entire NYPD talking. Is it her right, or is it unbecoming of a cop? Let's break it down. Detective Melissa Mercado, a 7-year veteran of the NYPD's Special Victims Unit, has found herself in hot water after appearing in a viral music video. The video, featuring rapper Esquire's song Doin' That, shows Mercado pole dancing in nothing but a thong and a skimpy bra.
Pretty legendary if you ask me. I love it.
I think it's safe to say we live in a day and age where almost every decent looking woman is some kind of S worker.
He ain't lying.
It ain't enough rocks in the world for Abdul to throw to disincentivize all these 304s. Now we got law enforcement hoes in music videos swinging on poles.
He cold.
But I decided to play detective myself and do a little investigation, and what I found, YouTube won't allow. Melissa Mercado, whose real name is Adeline cause her ass is out of line, managed to get herself fired while being a single mom. And if you ask me, all these women that go viral getting fired are only doing it so they can create a pipeline to their lonely fans.
It all makes sense now.
These Jezebels can't hold respectable jobs because at the end of the day, they don't respect themselves. And it makes you wonder how morals have gotten so low, because now even non-304s wish they was 304s, like the Jezebel in this next clip.
I actually regret not having a hoe face.
What? You can't make this shit up.
In high school, we were indoctrinated to save it for marriage. They're quote-unquote worth the wait. Yes, I missed out on the hoe era because I was too focused on like sleeping early. Do people not hook up over brunch?
So hi, I'm 32, I'm bisexual.
Oh shit.
When I was working at Amazon, I learned a lot from the alphabet community. And I can tell you that the L's and the G's don't like the B's because they can't make up their mind, plus they want monogamy. And I want y'all to keep in mind that this woman is 32 and about to say the world's dumbest shit. She's about to prove that she was smarter at 23. So I want people to remember that the next time they want to bring up brain development or the lack of maturity in younger women.
I've dated men and women. Consider this your internet older sister's take on this hoe face issue. So I actually had a prolific dating phase when I was in my 20s, but not a hoe face. And I low-key regret that because you're young and full of energy. This is the time for you to do everything, make mistakes.
Sensational.
Learn from your mistakes, safely of course, and only if you want to. Whatever it is that you're doing it with people you have mutual respect with.
People you have mutual respect with.
You're my special friend.
Men do not respect women in the 304 phase. We just pretend to do so we can continue to gain access to your body. The fact that you think men can respect you is proof that you wasn't raised by a proper father.
So my body count is 500 and it got me thinking, what is the average person's? Like,
I'd be right up there with you, girl, except my dad kept saying this stupid phrase throughout my childhood. It was so redundant. What was it? Oh, I love you.
Queen Cher has also said this before in a clip I watched of her. And when she was young, she was bad, but she wished she were worse. I guess I missed out on the hoe era because I was too focused on like my skincare routine, sleeping early, and like all of that happens at night, right? Like, do people not hook up over brunch?
No. No, by Consuela. Product formerly known as Lemon Plate.
What I'm trying to tell you here is that I'm not any better than people who have had a hoe phase.
Stop the cap.
The whole purity culture robs you of a lot of human learning experiences.
HEAUX, wait.
Not just sexually, but also in relationships. Other than, obviously, our autonomy. It takes away from us the chance to explore our own sexuality, our own self, exploring your own needs and preferences in relationships. I mean, it's such a taboo topic, but the reality is how you want to be loved and made love to matters very deeply in relationships.
You know what also matters very deeply in a relationship? A man that honors you.
Exactly.
But only a fool would take monogamous relationship advice from someone with a schizophrenic sexuality.
Tiana, Khadijah, Lenny, Carvel, him, her, him, bodies.
Sweetheart, the only thing you missed out on was low self-esteem, STDs condoms can't protect you from, and a ruined reputation. That makeup won't make up for the chronic mental health issues you accrue, but keep doing you, boo-boo.
But you can't lie that compatibility is an important factor of togetherness. And even if somebody said, me and my spouse saved ourselves for each other and it's magic, you're an exception. For a lot of people, it takes a lot of trial and error for us to find that in relationships.
Girl, you know that ain't right.
And there's nothing bad about that.
Stop the cap.
In fact, we would all be in happier relationships if we knew what we wanted out of it and if we knew when to go if it's not giving that. I mean, there is a reason why we were able to relate to Tinashe when she said, is somebody gonna match my freak?
Women.
Tinashe probably doesn't write her own songs. It's usually a man that does that, hence the lyrics. Plus, why would a 32-year-old woman take relationship advice from a celebrity whose job it is to sell you a culture? That sounds like something a 12-year-old would do.
You got it, dude.
Look, Maria, it sounds like you need to be in a polygynous relationship with Jose and Consuela. Your whole argument just sounds like a sexually frustrated person getting ready to overkill a small issue.
The reality of relationships is that it has to serve the needs of both people within it, or the 3 or more people in it if you're into that, not just the man, if there ever is a man. Of course, it can definitely be your choice to save it for marriage, whether you're a man or a woman. However, 2 things can be true at once. The bigger picture, purity culture reinforces oppression of women.
I disagree.
And is still centered around the benefit of men.
It's amazing. You are 100% wrong.
Men have also been shamed for being virgins. But isn't just that the other side of the same coin? Women being shamed if they are sexual beings, and men being shamed for not conforming to that.
This is just more proof that most women do not understand their value or the power of chastity and femininity. A woman's sexual standards literally determines who gets born in this society, and it also determines the behavior of men in that society. Men are far more driven in their desire to procreate, so they must behave in a way that women deem acceptable in order to gain access. And if hedonism and low standards gains access, then good luck at future healthy relationships and intact households.
So many people who have come before us have gotten trapped in marriages with people they don't like and have zero chemistry with because they were told that the most valuable thing about them, defined by men, is their body.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
No, sweetheart. Marriage is about duty to family and community, not lifelong sexual compatibility.
If you look into the history of purity culture, it also taught couples that when they are doing the deed, a woman's pleasure isn't the priority. In fact, it's not even on the agenda. Under that concept, we're just vessels for baby making.
You liar!
I'm not saying either are better between whole phase or saving it. I'm not saying that I'm better than anybody else who had a whole phase.
But you are better than women that had a 304 phase because you're not burdened with the trauma that hookup culture gives those women. One of the worst things that can happen to you while you out there trying to live your best life is running into someone that ruins your hedonic treadmill. That creates an alpha widow.
What you talking about, Willis?
Let's say you run into someone that can easily make you bust 3 times in 15 minutes. You fall in love, then they leave you. Then you meet someone healthy, but they can't perform the way that the other person did. Now you're screwed. You're gonna be trying to chase that perfect person that can be a combination of all those intense experiences.
That's never gonna happen. Ever, 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 Tiffany. Ever. Ever, ever, in a million years. Ever, 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 ever.
That's what hookup culture does. Gives your brain a whole lot of good and a whole lot of bad and leaves you lonely and addicted to both.
I'm saying That however you want to live your life should be for the intention of knowing yourself and not to please nor put down other people. In high school, we were indoctrinated to save it for marriage. That you are quote-unquote worth the wait. Isn't that so telling? Like, our worth is based on us saving it for marriage.
Yes!
That was the whole message. They even gave out bracelets. We had baller IDs with that phrase written on it. You had to give it to them. They really had this whole campaign of trying to make it cool. All I know is I got into trouble because one time they were telling us in class, this is gonna be your future gift to your future husband. And I was like, well, what's his gift to me?
A man that respects you and wants to live the rest of his life with you, provided you chose a proper man. But go ahead and have that 304 phase, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get the opposite.
And the reality is, purity culture was built to control women's bodies. Boys never received this same message and this same intensity growing up, the same way it is systemically used against women. And women aren't just judged for being promiscuous. Women have been unalived. It is used against us to tell us that we don't have autonomy over our bodies, that our body is owned by some guy we haven't even met yet. At the end of the day, whether you're saving yourself or exploring your sexuality, you have value either way.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
And you are worth respect for the mere fact that you are human.
Sure, Jan.
So, if you want to have a hoe phase, do it safely, use protection, get tested regularly, and at the bare minimum, do it with someone you respect and someone who respects you.
Never.
Because consent and mutual pleasure matters.
Meanwhile,
No does not mean stop. No means find another way.
Let's see how society has been ever since men lost control of women. 2-parent households are considered a luxury. Most relationships are temporary and dysfunctional. Community is non-existent. Mental health is worse than ever. And women actually prefer 304 culture. And that ain't even the half. But man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'ma holla at y'all next time.
Do you think women should have a whole face? No, definitely not, because I think it does a lot of trauma to the mind, the body, and the spirit. And then we are expected to get into these new relationships, whether it's with your husband, things like that, but we're carrying all this baggage subconsciously. So it just kind of makes the process a little harder. Yeah. I feel like when you're trying to find that one, but you've been opened up mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I think people don't really understand, like, it's not just, oh, this felt good. Yeah. Like, you're opening your body to their demons. Yeah. Say that louder. Yes. You're opening their body to their demons, their insecurities. You know, I don't know if you've ever experienced, you might have been dealing with someone that, you know, was depressed or anxious, but after having affairs with them, you're like, I don't know, my energy is off. Yeah. I feel drained, you know? So I think it's definitely important to just keep yourself sacred for the one that is for you.